Hi, this is Chuck Oliver. Welcome to this week's Hidden Wealth Review. Well, $2 million per minute. Folks, that's the interest that we're paying on our debt, on our bond debt, of this $34 trillion that's being stockpiled by this Bidenomics bunk that's leading now to a new proposed up almost $5 trillion of additional taxes. And what I talk about on Hidden Wealth Radio this weekend, and you can find all of our radio programs podcasted on your favorite streaming application under Hidden Wealth Radio, Hidden Wealth Podcast. I don't want you to miss this one. I talk a lot on Hidden Wealth Radio about leaving the tax system. I want to teach you how, I want you to learn how you can leave the tax system. I think of a client this week who had met with us about 3 years ago. It'd be 3 years ago in just about another month or so. And he said, you know what, I'm disappointed I didn't pull the trigger back then because you had showed me how I could move more of my money out of these IRAs. And I had my first required minimum distribution this year, and it bumped me up into much bigger taxes. And he said, you know what, I realize now, right, delaying or deferring just means more tax to pay. Well, folks, it's worse than that, right? That's why I think you'll really have an appreciation of why you want to leave the tax system when I get done sharing with you. I think really just a couple just key areas. So if you're a high income earner, you've been a strong tax deferred saver, you're a business owner, maybe looking to sell your business, maybe you have real estate portfolio you're looking to divest out of, and you want to take advantage of the taxes before the tax changes start taking advantage of you, go to retirementprotected.com. That's retirementprotected.com. I want to teach you my new webinar, how to remove your wealth from Washington. Remove your wealth from Washington, folks, because Washington's coming with both guns blazing. And here's the proposals. I'm going to make these quick. One is a mandated limit I've talked about, but now it's officially out. It's actually now officially proposed, and then they're coming. They're coming. That if you save too much in IRA or even Roth IRA, and right now that number is 10 million. Now, for some of you to say, no, come on, Chuck. Folks, we have a number of people that reach out that either have 10 million or more or will have 10 million or more because of how well they've grown their money and how much more time they have it to compound. But I don't think it's really about thinking it's going to stop at 10 million. One of the responses to this article that was out that I referenced in the radio program was this is just opening the floodgates to start bringing that number down. So let's just say that number comes down to whatever it is. Whatever you're over that number, you have to take 50% of the amount over that out that year and pay tax on it unless it's Roth, but they won't let you cherry pick taking the majority, if you can, out of Roth since it's not taxed. It's got to come out of the regular IRA portion first, but it gets worse than that. So for right now, until they, again, change the rules as they've routinely done with the Secure Act 1.0, 2.0, RMDs on inherited IRAs. We just had a change on that last month. Washington's war on wealth is real, folks. And now they don't want anyone to be able to do a Roth conversion if you're single and have income over $400,000 or married filing jointly with income over $450,000. Now, folks, that's just the start. But I want to teach you this coming Tuesday at retirementprotected.com. That's retirementprotected.com, how you can learn to remove yourself from the tax system. Why is this important? We have a lot of you that are still working. So we work with individuals, business owners, baby boomers, retirees, and predominantly those that should be most concerned have high income, because they also want to Mickey Mouse around with the Medicare tax. They're looking at a capital gain tax rate being proposed, the highest in history of 44.6% if you have a gain over $1 million. And again, many people think that number is going to come down to a lesser amount. Some of you are facing having to pay capital gains just on your own home. And if you have your home equity and you have other income that year, et cetera, if you're over $1 million, they want to tax you at 39.6% federal rate, because they don't no longer capital gain tax rates, ordinary income tax rates, and then bump up the Medicare tax, otherwise known as the Obamacare tax, from 3.8 to 5%. So 39.6 plus 5 is 44.6%. But worse than that is you're just not going to be able to get your IRAs converted to Roth. I want to teach you the 10 times tax deduction. I think of a client we just met with this week, and as I shared, he had said, I kind of regret it. I said, well, look, there's some good news, because our tax team that's vetted all these with tax opinions and so forth, almost 600 CPA firms, have approved up to 14 tax saving strategies on our tax savings platform. And these are all encouraged and endorsed by and supported by CPAs. And these are CPAs that are tax planners. So if you're someone that's saying, well, wait a second, tax planning, I'm kind of in what I call the accumulation phase and didn't realize there was this whole other phase that could be planned, right? You're in what I call the big box store brokerage dilemma, where it's just about somehow someone's convincing you have a plan by putting your assets under management. Folks, that's not a plan, that's a wish. Accumulation has to transition to decumulation, and then decumulation into, ideally, a lot of you wanting preservation, and you want preservation of your hard-earned, life's work and your legacy. Let me teach you strategies, real case studies, clients like yourself we work with all over the country that have been able to learn how to remove themselves from the tax system legally. Folks, so I think about a lot of you referring your adult kids. Some of this is some of you that are, approaching maybe retirement within a few years, or you thought it was a few years. See, if you could just eliminate your taxes from the tax system, that would move up the time that you could actually retire. I talk about that on my radio program. But I want to teach you that this coming Tuesday. I'll show you exact case studies of what you can turn just a certain number of years of tax savings into millions of dollars of savings, but you got to put it in the right place, like the Roth alternatives I'll teach, and ways to basically remove your wealth from Washington. Folks, you work hard for your money. Imagine learning how to remove yourself from the tax system. retirementprotected.com, retirementprotected.com.